Well, welcome to TLN Now. I'm Jerry Rose. On today's program, we're going to take a look at what nonprofit ministries and charities should be doing to assure that their financial dealings are open and above board. Recently, 6 well-known media ministries came under the scrutiny of U.S. Senator Charles Grassley, chairman of the Senate Finance Committee, who asked for detailed accounting records regarding certain financial practices. Some have willingly complied with the request. Others, well, they're digging in their heels. On the program today, we're going to meet a man who is on the forefront of advising nonprofits on how to maintain their finances in a way that assures public transparency and freedom from intrusive government oversight. But first, to get the program underway, we have TLN's Huntley Brown to play for us. Huntley is on another ministry trip overseas, but here he is via videotape to play a song, one of my favorite, Shalom. Welcome back. As I mentioned earlier, our guest today is a man who has been active for many years advising ministries and charities on the best way to handle their finances and maintain records so as to avoid any hint of impropriety or wrongdoing. Doug Shaw is the chairman and CEO of Douglas Shaw and Associates, a firm of more than 60 professionals who serve more than 40 well-known ministries and nonprofits by working with their fundraising efforts and internal accounting practices. Doug is a graduate of Simpson University and Fuller Seminary in Pasadena, California. Please welcome Doug Shaw to the program. Good to have you. Thanks for coming.
It's my privilege. Thanks for having me.
First of all, tell me a little bit about your organization and what you do, Doug, to assist nonprofit organizations.
Well, I'd like to think that what we do is provide hope for organizations by helping them achieve their goals that God has called them to. In our case, it's through the process of raising dollars. We're very much engaged in raising funds. We do it through direct mail. We also are involved with other kinds of media in terms of helping people with their broadcast response from donors, from listeners, major gifts, a whole array of fundraising vehicles and strategies. And we've been doing this now, I think, for over the years for over 100 ministries.
Now, there's a difference in helping ministries raise money and helping those ministries stay accountable in what they do with that money.
Absolutely.
Do you do both?
We encourage both. I would say one of the things that we find ourselves doing often is this true? Is this right? Is what you are doing what your donors intend their gifts to be contributed for? So we do serve an internal policing role in that regard. I wouldn't generally use the word policing with the client, but it is a nudging, an encouragement towards, are you doing what is intended? And donor intent plays a big role.
Well, because having been in a nonprofit organization all these years, fundraising can be a slippery slope.
Oh, it can.
How you raise funds, how you regard the people from whom you are raising funds, staying on mission, all of those things,
Yes.
I would think, Doug, are important, and things that as you take on a client that you have to look at in terms of, are these people really doing the right thing?
And I think the way we start that process is one of the first things we do when someone contacts us or we're contemplating contacting an organization to serve them is we take a look at the ECFA, Evangelical Council for Financial Accountability website, and see if they're listed. Because accountability is a huge factor for us and for the donors that give them money. That's one of the ways we begin the process.
You know, it's interesting because we were talking about this before the program, but I'm the former president back in the 80s of the National Religious Broadcasters, and there was a huge accountability issue, probably bigger than the one we're even talking about now that you and I are going to talk
Yes.
about with these 6 ministries, but a huge accountability issue with Senator Pickle, as a matter of fact.
Remember the name.
And out of that we came up with what we called EFICOM.
Yes.
And later then, with the National Religious Broadcasters, folded that into ECFA, Evangelical Council for Financial Accountability, of
Yes.
which our ministry is a charter member, with the whole idea of the membership of the National Religious Broadcasters having accountability.
Yes.
Because there were some issues at that time, just like there are issues today.
Yes, there are.
Let's talk for a minute about some of the background insight on this investigation that's being conducted by Senator Grassley. On the one hand, it sounds intrusive because generally this would be the IRS or another agency that would be getting involved in this, but this time it's a senator who is the head of a committee.
Yes.
How do you think this came about, and why do you think it came about this direction?
Well, first of all, I think Senator Grassley, this is not new for him. He is not the chairman of the committee. He is a ranking member of the Senate Finance Committee. He began several years ago by looking at hospitals. He's looked at Harvard University. He's looked at the Smithsonian Institute. He's looked at the International Red Cross. His look is more with a view to, are you legitimately expending dollars and protecting your ability to be tax exempt? Are you really tax exempt, and can you remain that way? Looking out for the government in terms of, is the government getting all the tax dollars that he believes it's due? So this is not a new process for him. Now, with respect to the current situation with what some have called the Grassley Six, it is a process where he is asking some of the same kinds of questions of the ministries that he has written to, and it's been made quite public, asking them to turn over information. It's not been a subpoena, it's been a request for an inquiry thus far. So he does have a background of this, and it is with a view toward, and by his own words, it's a view toward determining if tax exemption is still a proper category for them to be involved in.
Yeah.